Good afternoon. We're dealing with the commentary on Esther this afternoon, and the commentary is very important, and it's of a dual nature. One could look at it and say that it's a wonderful story about a pretty lady who became Queen of Persia, or it's a story about the millennial reign of Jesus Christ and the church, and it could be both. And the answer is it is both. And it's a very important story encapsulated by 10 chapters which take us right to the stage of the end and the last conflicts of the end. It's a story about King Ahasuerus, and Ahasuerus is generally recognized as being identical with the Xerxes who reigned from 485 to 464 BCE. And Hebrew words are involved, and they're explained in part 1. And also it talks about the understanding of Judah and the midrashic accounts and the explanations through the Jewish commentaries and the understanding in relation to the Bible prophecies. And I think all of those are important as we go through the sequence. We've divided the commentary up into 3 sections. The first 2 are actually the commentary on Esther, and then the third commentary or part deals with the commentary in the last days, or the development of the conflicts in the last days and how they relate to this Book of Esther. So the structure through 1 to 3 deals with the early stage and the development into the relationship, how Esther becomes selected as the Queen of Persia, and how that then develops through in the first 3 chapters, and from chapter 4 onwards we deal with the appeal to Esther, the significance of Mordecai and Esther in relation to Christ and the church is also examined. Chapter 5 deals with Esther before the king, 5:1 to 8, and 5:9 to 14 deals with Haman and the 10 sons and the significance of those. Chapter 6 deals with the idolatry of Israel and Satan's undermining of Israel. The concept here is that Christ is qualified to replace Satan in the text. Chapter 7 then goes on to deal with Haman's fall. This has a great significance for the last days, as they sought to destroy Christ and the host, so the demons themselves are destroyed. And that's symbolised by Haman and the 10 sons. Now chapter 8 deals with the rise of Mordecai and the revocation of the edict. This text, Re Purim, mirrors the activities of the last days. It links the latter prophets from Isaiah onwards, and they are all tied in towards the last days. And you'll see that also with the commentary on Isaiah, and also the special discussion on Isaiah part 16 and the summary in part 17. you can't get away from the entire latter prophets tying in with the New Testament all the way through to Revelation. It's important that we all understand how involved and how all of the last days are tied in with prophecy. Now, chapter 9 goes on with the destruction of the enemies and the inauguration of the Feast of Purim. Nothing of the satanic system will be taken into the millennium under the Messiah. And the significance of chapter 10 then is developed where we see the final text mirroring that of Isaiah F02:3, 16 and 17, where Israel and Judah are restored in the Holy Land under Messiah with the law and the testimony restored completely and the temple calendar enforced over the whole world. Now, it's important that we understand that the temple calendar is the thing that will be enforced over the whole world. And if you don't keep it, you won't live into the millennial system. You won't be allowed to go there. You won't infect the system with your heresies. Now, the Feast of Purim comes from the Akkadian word casting lots, pur. And they did that as a religious exercise. And this whole structure is of religious determination as to when Satan and the other enemies of Israel could eliminate them. They wanted to destroy them as a people. Now, it's important that we understand that this whole process will not be allowed to go on any longer than the time allocated to Satan. And God and the host will intervene, and they will put Satan and the host into the pit at the return of the Messiah. There won't be any overlap. When Messiah and the host get here, the great angel that's represented by Habonah in the Book of Esther is the great angel at the throne of God that is sent in order to confine Satan to the bottomless pit of Tartarus. And they will stay there for the 1,000 years of the millennial system, and then they will be dealt with. They'll be allowed out, and then Satan and the demons will be placed in the second resurrection for re-education and judgment, along with most of the people on the planet. Because most of the people on the planet have not understood, have disobeyed God, and have done what they pleased. Ignored the laws of God, kept the calendar of Baal and Easter, the goddess. They have kept Sunday, Christmas, Easter, and they have not done what God asked them to do in the covenant. And it's that simple, that if we had have done as mankind, as the human species, we could have all become Elohim. The plan of God is to get everyone to become Elohim, and at the end of this last days, under the Messiah, we will get a chance to be re-educated, the planet reorganized for the second resurrection of the dead, and then everyone will be resurrected and placed on the planet within large communities in which to be re-educated and to be organized so that they can be translated and become Elohim at the end of the second resurrection, or whenever God determines they are fit to do so. This is a very important text. It's very prophetic, and there is a duality which you really need to study the papers to understand and see how they fit with everyone else, how they fit with the other prophecies, and how they then come in to the apostles and the last works of Revelation, which ties them into Messiah and the host.